what's going on? This is Jackie Maria J. Marie Booklet. So today I am making a video about what are the responsibilities for being a unit secretary. So of course, the number one that people always say is to answer the phone. That's actually a pet peeve of mine because we do way more. Unit secretaries do way more than just answer the phone, answer the call light. We do a lot. So I just have a list of some of the things that the unit secretary does. They may not do it every day, but they do it enough. That is just one of those things. So the first thing that I will say is a responsibility of the unit secretary is just being on top of the supplies and equipment that's needed. So 9 times out of 10, if there is something that is needed to be ordered for the unit, the secretary is the one who usually orders it. So that could be a bed. So like let's say you have a very large patient, and it usually takes about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people to get them out the bed, like, or to pull them over, like roll them over to clean them. It takes a lot of people to do anything, or let's say they need to go down for a procedure or a test, and it takes a lot of people to get them out of the bed. Sometimes they may order a bariatric bed, which 9 times out of 10 has a like a holster, so it's up under the patient, and then whenever they need to move the patient, they pull it down. It goes down and it lifts the patient up. So anything like that. Now, if you don't work on a floor like that, if you never heard of that, it's rare. It's something that's rare, but that may be something that you will be responsible for ordering. So, like, say it comes from Central Supply, or it is from a vendor, like an outside vendor. Same thing with an air mattress. Usually, you have an air mattress in the ICU. And basically, what that does is instead of the patient laying on just like a regular mattress, they would lay on an air mattress just to prevent them from getting bed sores. So, if a patient has been there for a long time, that can increase their chances of getting a bed sore because, of course, you're supposed to rotate them and things like that. But if something's wrong, like say they're in the ICU and they're going to be there for a while, you don't want them just laying on their back because you want to be able to rotate them, because you're supposed to rotate them anyway, because some hospitals might have a rotating schedule. I know when I worked at the very first hospital I worked at, they we used to announce, the secretary used to announce it was tea time, and tea time meant it's time to turn the patient, like turn them from one side to the other so they wouldn't get bed sores. I think we did that like every 2 hours. So we were announced over the intercom on our department that it was tea time and it was time to turn the patient. And so, but depending on the hospital and the unit and the floor, they may not be able to do that. The nurse may not be able to get in there. It just could be one of those things. And so, they'll order a air mattress, which will turn the patient. It rotates so the patient doesn't get a bed sore. So you may be called on to order that. Like, let's say that's from Central Supply or outside vendor. Same thing with prosthetics. If you work on a ortho floor, if a patient has an amputation and they need a prosthetic, like a prosthetic leg or things like that, you will more than likely be called on to order that, whether it comes, well, 9 times out of 10, that comes from an outside vendor. Same thing with if equipment needs to be fixed, like let's say the plug is not working in the room for the phone, or let's say the plug is uncovered, like you have a plug that's just uncovered, there's no cover, you will call engineering. They would get that taken care of because you don't want any exposed wires, things like that. Same thing with biomed. If you need equipment fixed, you will be that person to call down and get that fixed. 9 times out, I mean, the nurses, they can call you. I mean, I'm sorry, the nurses can call themselves. They're not. They're just gonna tell you, hey, can we get biomed to come in and fix blah blah blah, or room blah 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 needs this, engineering, or the TV's not working in room whatever. So 9 times out of 10, you're the one making that call. Same thing with equipment. Sometimes you just need like an IV pump from um, the central supply, or there are supplies that you need. 9 times out of 10, um, a lot of the stuff you need is from central supply. Like you need I don't know. I want to say utensils. That's not the word I'm looking for. Um, what is the word? Like let's say the doctor is going to do a procedure, but on the bedside, and the supplies are down in central supply, so they've been cleaned and sterilized, and now they're you can go down and, oh God, what is it called? I'm going blank. I want to say utensils, but I know that's not the word. But anyway, so things like that, you will be the one. I made a video talking about my adventures in the OR, because we had a doctor that was doing a procedure on the bedside, and I had to run down to Central Supply to get it, because instead of the procedure being done in OR, it was all I was all over the place. That's a long video. I remember that day. I remember everything about it. Had the gown up because we went down straight down. The elevator took me down to the OR, and then the Central Supply is right there. And I cannot think of the word I'm looking for. Not utensils. Is I'm going blank. But so yeah, you will be required to call, and maybe sometimes even go into Central Supply. Central Supply is sterile. And but like that day I went in there because we needed I had to call somebody from home. Like they were at home because it was a weekend, and our OR was closed, and so this was like an emergency. So so yeah, you'll be responsible 9 times out of 10 to call down, because like the ICU did not like calling the Central Supply because the person that worked down there was mean, but the person that was the meanest one knew everything because they'd been there forever. And and I'd be like, I can't stand with I can't, because I work because they were off on the weekends. So when I would work the weekends, like I had to know everything, because the person that knows, because the people they had on the weekend ain't know nothing. They get on my nerve. I was like, I hate talking to y'all on the weekend, because why I know more than y'all? You know what I'm saying? But they ain't care. But the mean one was only there Monday through Friday. I'm like, Lord, when I calling them on a Saturday or Sunday, they ain't know nothing. Them people didn't know nothing. Like they literally, you call and ask, um, because the one thing with the Central Supply was what we called something on the floor and what they had it labeled as was two different things. So the people didn't know why they, because like in their system, whatever the manufacturer name was, that's what they called it. That's how it was in their system. But when we were ordering it, it would be in the system as something else, which is crazy. So it would be in their system as one thing, but then in our system as another thing, which was crazy. So when we're putting in the order to get this from Central Supply so they can bring it up to us, we don't know. We may not know. We may not order the correct thing. Do you understand? Because they call it something else. It was the craziest thing. And so then if you try to call down there and ask them, they answer literally was always, I don't know. Like always, I don't know. I'm like, I can't stand y'all. Where is the mean one? Okay, she need to work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Okay, but cause she knew where everything was. But yeah, it was one of those things. So they hated calling. Like our charge nurse hated, and she been there longer than me. She had been there for decades. I think that was the only job she ever had. She came from, I think she was in nursing school, working there. So she had been there for a long time, and she hated because she knew the lady. Because the lady been there longer than her, and she hated calling down there. And I always had to do. I had to call for everything, even though the nurse could do it, even though she could do it, she hated calling down here. I was like, well, why I got to be the one? I will always have to call down for everything. But Yeah, that's that's one of those that you'll be responsible for. The equipment, like I said, IV pumps, just anything that you would need from Central Supply. Same thing with dietary. Let's say they always like to bring patients at the change of shift. We know that's how they do it. That's how ER does. And so people be in ER all day and haven't eaten, and the first thing they want is some food. And so you always have to order the diet, especially if you get the orders before they get there, you can always call down dietary and order it. Now if they it depend on how your hospital is. If it's dinner time and they about to close, because like the hospital where I started at the hospital, their cafeteria was always open, but this one here they close. They open close open close. They just weird, just open close open for like just weird. Um, and then they be trying to shut it down by like by 8. I'm like, how y'all shutting the cafeteria down by 8? But that's what they do. Yeah, 'cause night shift be rushing trying to grab something for the people to eat. If they come up, at the change of shift, they be rushing. I don't even think night shift even eat. Okay, like I think they be rushing trying to grab something, grab some French fries or something. So, like sometimes you might have to go down there. Say, sometimes like if the patient needs, like let's say the nurse needs some cans. Let's say they're on the God, I'm going blank. When they have I want to say the feeding tube. When they gotta, God, I'm going blank. I'm going blank on everything that we use in the hospital. But you know how sometimes the patient, they have to be fed through a can, like they had the cans and they put it through the tube, and that's how you feel. Oh God, I can't think of how you describe it. But sometimes, we'll be the ones that run down there and grab it because we need it now. Dietary didn't bring up enough, or we thought we had some, and the doctor asked for this one, and all we have is that one. God, I cannot think of what it's called. Like not the insure. It's not the insure stuff like that. No, it's something else. But yeah, we're responsible for a lot of things. It's just not just sitting at the desk answering the phone. Like we do a lot. That's the one thing I do love about the hospital is you're busy. It's now some people think you just it's slow, and honey, if your floor is jumping, or if you know your floor, you know how your floor runs, then like once you understand your floor, you'll be all right. You'll realize it's not as slow as you think it is. Another thing is secretaries, they organize parties, they organize events. People, it could be a holiday. I never cared about holidays. I mean, like, I'm just not, I never organized. I never organized, never decorated. It's not that I don't believe in holidays, it's just I don't care. I'm at work, so, you know, there's only one holiday for me, that's my birthday. Now, that's the only thing I celebrate. But, like, Christmas, Halloween, all that, I mean, I just don't care because I'm usually at work, depending on what day it falls. Or if it's like a holiday, like on a Monday, though I don't work on Mondays. So it don't make me no difference. And then if it's a day I work, it don't make me no difference. I just care about my birthday. That's all I care about. So, but yeah, there are people who organize events. Let's say someone is having a baby shower, a birthday, someone's leaving. You know, you know, if depends on how they are, and if you really gonna miss them, and they were really good for the floor, and they were, good nurse or good CNA, whatever, then yeah, you would throw a party. Now, if they was just horrible and you can't stand them, you would have a good written have a good riddance party. But and roll your eyes. I'm sorry. I had a few of those. Okay. They look, I ain't organized it because I ain't organizing nothing. But yeah, the secretary. I must be out there cooking. But yeah, the secretary can't be responsible for that. Could be responsible for decorating. As far as like the holidays, I'll go and get the directions. I'll go and get the decorations. I will, but I won't put up nothing. Cause in ICU, the decorations are kept on the other floor in like a closet, and I would literally go in there and get it. And I actually organized that damn closet. I organized it because it was driving me crazy. Me and the charge nurse, we organized it one day. It was summer. It was slow. Snowbirds had went home and we were staying busy. I'm telling you, you could find all kind of stuff to do. So we went up there and we organized it. And because I think they said a long time ago there's a secretary there that always decorated the unit for all the holidays, but they had just threw everything in that closet. And so I think it used to be an office, like somebody's office. It was big enough for office, but then they made it into a closet. And so me and her organized. I would organize and I would go get the decorations, but I wouldn't put them nothing. I don't know. I don't know. Holidays just never really, you know. I'm at work. I'm either at work or I'm at home. I don't, make me know. Never mind. And so yeah, they usually organize stuff. Same thing like when I worked on the main floor. If they would have like they would be raising money for like the Komen, Susan G. Komen, like the breast cancer, or they would be raising money for the American Heart Association. So they be selling candy and things like that. I never really, I mean, we were selling it, but it was there. It was there, like on the counter. You want some candy? Give me the money, But I didn't push it. Like I wasn't in charge of it. Like the other secretary, she was in charge of. She was in charge of it. We had a certain place that we kept the money, and then gave it to her and all that good stuff. But yeah, secretaries or ain't no nurse got time for that. It's the secretaries. That's what we did. And I'm trying to think of other stuff. And then of course we had the potlucks. And for the holidays, people brought stuff in. You make a list and pass it around. So, just things like that. So that's some of the things we do. Same thing is like just to provide support for the staff. You can provide support by going to get the nurse lunch, like down in the cafeteria, or if they ordered pizza or anything like that, and going down there and grabbing it, taking a cart and going down there and getting it from the front door. I've done that many a times in the main floor, going down there and get the pizza because like they say, let's say they having a big old whatever, and the director has ordered a lot of pizza, 10 things of pizza, 20 things, because we've been working hard, we've been getting murdered, and they want to reward us with pizza because you can always bribe hospital staff with pizza. You know that, right? Okay, you get whatever you want. You feed us pizza. So we would go down there, take a cart down there, push a cart down there, and go down and get the pizza. Now, when we worked in the ICU, in the ICU, we always ordered pizza. And the guy, because they always order from the same place, and the guy always would come. It's usually the same guy. And he will always come. They knew to come right on up and come to the door. And like he used to come to the break room. We're like, oh, follow us, follow me. And pizza here. And look, I mean, it wasn't like he would leave at the nurse station. No, come on, follow me in the break room, and he would bring it in there. I mean, that's how often we order pizza on the weekends. But yeah, just things like that. So I never had to go down. I don't think I ever went down and got pizza when in the ICU. Just always in the main when I was on the main floor. And same thing. You provide support by like taking blood to the lab. I've done that a lot. In ICU, we don't do that because we have a tube system. But the other part of the hospital, um, they don't have a tube system because the ICU was built after. It was built onto the hospital. that side of the hospital was built later, so that's how they got a tube system. Even though I'm still trying to figure out how they got a tube system, and but the other side don't have a tube system, but we can still tube it to the lab that's been there since the hospital was built. I'm still trying to figure that out. Because if the ER, because the ER, the lab, because the ER can tube the stuff to the lab, they literally right down the hallway. The ER can tube the stuff to the lab, and but why why couldn't they do the rest of the hospital? Like, what was stopping it? I never understood that. Now I can kind of understand how they were able to do the ER, because the ER is under us, so to speak, because um, with the other elevator, because if you come in through the ER as like when we come in, there's that first elevator, the very first elevator you see, and you can go up to where I'm at, okay? But then there is another elevator that is hidden. So when I was talking about how I was running around in the OR, I got on that other elevator, and the OR is in the basement, but the ER is on the first floor. So when I got on that other elevator, if I had stopped on the first floor, I would have been inside the ER. So they're not they're technically under that new part of the hospital. So basically, they built the new part of the hospital over the ER, if that makes sense. So I mean, I understand how they have access to the tube system. I just don't understand how the other part doesn't. You understand? Because they had to have built, yeah, because the ER was there, and then the OR is underneath the ER, and that's why they got the elevator. And then when they built up, the elevator comes up, because second floor is nothing. There's nothing on. Well, I mean, it is some on the second floor, but if you get off on the second floor on that special elevator, you might get murdered. Okay. Look, I always said that if the killer came in there, I'm running there, because the killer ain't gonna find me there. Okay, I'm running. That's exactly where I'm going. Cause ain't nobody gonna look there. There's probably all dead bodies in there. They just keep all kind of just whatever, and on that part of if you get off on that elevator. I would not get on that elevator and stop on the second floor at night. I couldn't do it, because I was scared during the day on that elevator. We went down there because me and the charge nurse, we went down there looking for, because they got beds and stuff there and chairs and stuff. I don't know. We went down there. They got shelves. They got like furniture and stuff. They got all kind of stuff there. It's like an open space. But now if you get on the other elevator, the main elevator, when you get off on the second floor, then it's like um, what is that? Nuclear med is there. Nuclear med and residents go there to chart. That's where all the doctors were. I mean, not the doctors. That's where the police were when we had the hurricane, and everybody was locked in the hospital. The police were on the second floor, but they got on the main elevator, not that secret elevator. So, but yeah, I don't understand how the original part of the hospital, they weren't able to retrofit that, because even the pharmacy had it. The pharmacy has a tube system, because we would get stuff from the tube system is on in the main hospital. I don't understand how they just did not retrofit the rest of the hospital, because the pharmacy is at the end of a unit. I don't understand it. And they built that on there because they added, where I used to work, they added that back part. They added that too. Oh, that wasn't there. I don't know. They do what they want to do. But yeah, the pharmacy has a tube system, because they tube the ICU meds all the time. So I don't know. But yeah, so depending on what type of hospital you work at, taking blood to the lab is one of those things. That's what I used to do in on the main floor, and they do that real, but they real good about that in the main ICU. Yeah, you gonna take this to the you gonna take this to the lab. Now, if the nurse need a break, she'll go down them stairs and run it there and come on back. Take the long way back. But yeah, and sometimes the secretary is just there to provide support for visitors and the staff, some new employees, and not just the new secretaries, but just new employees, like new nurses. They don't know. They don't know what the stuff is, or they're being precepted and things like that. Um, Volunteers. I'm telling you, the secretary is the glue for a unit. That's why I don't like when I go to cause like on the one floor that make all the nurses cry, their secretaries, it's not cohesive. Like there's no, that whole floor is just weird. It's a weird floor. There's no camaraderie among any of them, the secretaries or anything, cause that whole department, cause like it's two secretaries, supposed to have two secretaries, and the two secretaries don't even. It's like it's just weird. I don't know. That's why they always anyway. But even the nurses that work on that floor, like that's their floor, they don't know what nothing is. And you would think they would, because like in the ICU, in the main ICU, they have they have secretaries, but they're so independent down there. The nurses are, because I talk about how they always answer their phones. Like the secretary sits over here, but the phone rings in the back, which don't make no sense. Because shouldn't the secretary be answering all the calls? But they don't want it like that. They want the nurses to answer the phone. I guess whatever. But the nurses there are so independent. But then if you go to that one floor, the nurses, they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. They don't help nobody. That's why people that float there be crying, because they don't do, like, you would think they would be independent. They just do their own. Like there's not, I don't know, they just weird. And they all in the same director. I don't know. Good work for you. Work for them. But anyway, that's just me. So I go over there, and they be trying, like, I don't work, child, please, I don't work over here. I float here. And why I know more than, okay, even, okay, because they don't see me over there enough, and they know I got a little bit of sense, and I hold it down and don't say nothing. Hey, represent, okay, and I be up, because I be feeling like a CNA over there. Look, I stay in the patient's room, because the patients stay on them lights. I stay in there gonna see what they need, because they just weird. They just weird over there. I guess you gotta be weird to be hired. You gotta be weird to be hired over there. They're all weird. I don't think it's a one. I don't think one over there is not weird. But yeah, they. Jackie, can you, like, Jackie, where's the? Do I look like I don't know. I mean, I float over here every now and then. I don't know. Like, well, y'all, cause I be organizing they stuff. I'm just one of those people. Cause I know they be like, how the hell she get all this done? I be on top of everything. I had, cause they got a different call light system, and it's weird because you can turn off the ringing, like you can answer it, and then you can turn off the ringing, but the light will still blink. Cause like the one we have, you answer it. Oh, no, 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 because they all do that. You can turn off the ringing, but then you can put like you push a certain color, and they'll tell you who is needed, whether it's the CNA or the nurse, and it'll program. Where ours is just, you answer it, and then once you hang up, the light will still blink until somebody go in the room and turn it off. And I think you can turn off their call light from the nurse station. That's probably why people don't. That's why they be on the call light, because somebody don't turn it all the way off, and ain't nobody went in there because they don't know the call. But anyway, so okay, I be on the call light. I be on the phone. I be straightening up they dang charts because it's a mess. It's driving me crazy. I be in them rooms. Can I help you? Okay, no, I'll be all like that, but hi, Mama, I've been in here 5 times already. It's only been here. It's only an hour. Like, Mama, what's going on? Because they don't get the. But anyway, because I remember, because that floor, when when I had my health issues, I almost went over there. I was out. I had called. I had was it the first time or second time? I can't remember if it was the first time or the second time. But I was like, if I end up over there, yeah, I guess it was the first time. I was like, if I end up over there, I'm gonna need everybody on my unit to come over here. I mean, need one person every 5 minutes to come check on me, make sure I'm still alive over here. Okay. Don't go. I don't want to go over there. Okay, I need y'all to come every 5 minutes. Now I'm one of those. I keep my door closed and need my privacy. I don't need all my coworkers knowing what's wrong with me. I need one of y'all to come over here every 5 minutes, check on me, make sure I'm still alive. Cause I don't know about them over here. Cause cause they don't answer call like you be dead in there. Cause we had that. But anyway, hmm we did we transfer? I think we transfer a patient over there. Did we transfer the patient? I can't remember if we transferred the patient over there or they transferred the patient to us. But anyway, the patient was dead. So I was like, Lord Jesus, the patient was dead. So yeah, I can't remember if they went over there and they was in night by the time the nurse got back they was dead, or if they transferred them to us. But I think they might have been anyway. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they probably transferred the patient to us. And I think that's the reason why we had to change the heart monitor thing. But anyway, I think they was already dead when they came over. But anyway, so but yeah, you gonna see you will provide support, just not for the nurses, but I mean not for just unit secretaries, new secretaries, but also the new nurses, just everyone. You gonna be that support, and of course you will be the link between management and the staff. So what I mean by that is, depending on what kind of management you have, you will be the link. Um, so like on the main floor, management they were there, they were present. Of course, we all know in hospitals they don't tell everything. They be trying to be all on their tippy toes with stuff, and you be like, you need to stop. Okay, okay, because we gonna find out in 2 minutes. All I gotta do is pick up the phone, call somebody on another unit, and find out everything. Okay, like I don't even know why they be, but anyway, we know how hospitals are, and we know how management is. Now, some things we don't need to know as the employees, but then some things that we do need to know, or we should know, would be nice to know, and they be, all I'm gonna do is call the other unit and find out. Okay. I remember when the guy, he was the vice president or something, and he gave it because he was on our unit, on our sister floor of the ICU. He was on the sister floor because yeah. But anyway, because he probably was about to get fired, and so he had palpitations. But anyway, so he was on our unit. So then maybe about not even a month later, he gave his 2 weeks notice. And so he was real close to, now mind you, I'm on the other floor, okay? I'm in the ICU. But he was real close to the management on the main floor where I came from. So it wasn't too long from the time I transferred. And he he said that I don't know, he must have been walking around, the hospital, and he stopped on our unit anyway in the ICU, and he was like, he gave his notice, like that he was leaving, to, like, the CEO, whoever, and he said within 2 hours somebody that don't even work at the hospital called him and said, yeah, I heard you gave. And he was amazed at how fast that. I'm like, bruh, okay, I don't know why y'all trying to hide stuff. Because all I gotta do is call the other unit, and I'll know everything. Okay, somebody who wasn't even in the hospital. So I don't know if they worked at the hospital and they just weren't there, but that day they were off. I don't know, but they called him and said, "Yeah, I heard you. You just gave your 2 weeks." He couldn't believe it. I'm like, "Yeah." Larry, so I don't know why you trying to be on your tippy toes with stuff. We gonna find out. So, but yeah, I was always the link. I was always the hookup because I knew. I knew who to go to get some information. But yeah, if there, a meeting that's gonna happen, you you gonna have to remember that. You gonna have to be that link. You gonna be the one that if there's a new system that they're training, like a new system they're gonna be using, you gonna have to know it. I'm telling you that right now. Even if you don't even use it, you gonna have to know it because they're gonna ask you how to work it. If there is like say like there like when we got the one new system, it was I didn't even know we had a new system coming. And it was like, yeah, then okay, everybody don't sign up for it. I'm like, how are y'all signing up for it and I don't even know it? And I think it was probably because I heard because it was mainly the sister floor because ICU, um, it wasn't really set because ICU is kind of different than than the main floor, so that's probably why it was bigger because the management sat on the sister floor, and then they would come down to the ICU. I don't know. I was like I heard about it when I was on the working on the sister floor, and they was like, yeah, we got this system coming in. Everybody got signed up for it. I was like, how I did not know about it? But I think it's just because it was the ICU, and I hadn't been up to our sister floor in a while, or at least I hadn't. Yeah, I must not have been up there for a while. But yeah, people had signed up for it and everything. I was upset, and then when I was taking the class, so I signed up for it. We had to drive to another facility, and I was taking it, and I was taking notes because I didn't have a book because they didn't have enough books because it was like literally it was like almost you know people had already started taking the thing. And so, cause I had to say something to the manager. I'm like, how I didn't know, how y'all don't, cause everybody gonna come ask me how to work this stuff. This a whole new system for the hospital. So, yeah, I'm in the room with the other people, cause it's like one of the last few classes. And then the one lady, I'm taking notes cause I don't have a book. And the lady was like, she mad at me for taking notes. She talking about we'll give you like handouts. Like, y'all know them damn instructions. Y'all know them instructions ain't gonna be making no sense. Little index card with some instruction. Yeah, child, please. But you know what? I think the reason why I didn't know is because when I would go over to yeah, they probably just figured we didn't need. They probably just figured because I was in ICU, I wasn't gonna be doing a lot of that stuff. So that's probably why they didn't tell me, because that makes sense. Because when I used to like when we you could request volunteers to come get the patient. So like say the patient's being discharged, you could sit in a request in the computer for the volunteer to come and get put in a request like this patient's being discharged. Can you send a volunteer up so they can come wheel them down to their car, to the front door. I I never knew how to do that because we don't discharge from the ICU, and then the sister the sister floor, we don't call the volunteers. We just take them down ourselves. Like the CNA would take them down, the nurse might take them down, the secretary might take them down, but we never use the volunteers. So I never knew how to do that. Even when I would go to the other side, I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I can't put a request in. I will call because that's how we used to call. We used to call them and say, can we just, we got a discharge for whatever room, whatever. But I never did that. We don't discharge from the ICU. And then, but there were still things that we did. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. I guess they figured we didn't need it because we just work differently in our ICU. Because mainly 9 times out of 10 we transferred the patient from the ICU to our sister floor because our sister floor was a step down unit. And I guess they figured because we did things differently over there anyway, it wasn't really necessary to know. I'm like, can y'all let me know some stuff? But I don't know how I went that long because they had like probably I probably hadn't been up there for a while. Cause usually when I work I'll go and make my presence known. The sachet Shantae. And I guess I hadn't did it for a while. I guess we might have been just super busy down in the ICU, and I just never got a chance to get up there because that had been going on for like 2 weeks. I was a little upset. I was like, because they're gonna come ask me how to work this stuff. So, but yeah, 9 times out of 10, you are the messenger. Let's put it like that. Not the link. You're the messenger. If same thing is going, if there's going to be a meeting, a staff meeting, you may be the messenger, even though the nurse got it in the email or the staff got an email. They don't remember. They busy. They saw it. They saw it. They do something about a meeting. Oh, we got a meeting today. Don't forget we got a meeting tomorrow. No, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the link between management and staff. And we do a lot more than just answer the phone and answer the call. Like we do a lot. I'm telling you, we do a lot. And people think that we have the easiest job in the hospital and we just be chilling. Because I remember a nurse told me, they said, I would love your job, but I would want your job, but with, the nurse pay. I'm like, I don't know why y'all think it's easy. I mean, I just make it look easy, that's all. But, not easy. You're multitasking. You're doing everything. You got 20,000 bosses. You got all the nurses, you got the doctors, you got management, you got patients. You got a lot going on. And you still find time to clean. I just make it look easy, that's all. Because I know when I worked on that other floor, they'd be like, how this girl do all this stuff? I mean, I would go to another floor. I would float to another floor and be straightening up their stuff. Okay, I'm like, can y'all, like, this is just, I can't work like this. Okay, I'll be organizing they stuff. Okay, because this is like, I don't know how y'all functioning. Because it don't make sense. Because I'm one of those people. I gotta be organized. I'm not like OCD, but the stuff gotta make sense. Like I can't, like you gotta have the printers gotta be full of paper because ain't nobody got time to be. I'm floating, so I'm not familiar with this floor, and then you ain't got no printer, you ain't got no paper in the printer, and then today is Friday, and they gonna discharge everybody, and we ain't got no printer, and then I don't know where your extra paper is, cause y'all hiding it, you know. No, no, no. We gotta get this all organized so I don't have my blood pressure don't rise later on because my blood pressure will rise because I ain't gonna be fighting with this trying to find some paper in the middle of all these discharges. Ain't got time for that. So I will go and I will straighten up people's stuff. I will go through drawers because I gotta know where everything is. I mean that's just me. I gotta know where your extra um like doctor's notes because we not the physician order notes or they in case the computers go down. I need to know. I need to know where that's at. Like I'm one of those. Okay, I'm one of those. I need to know everything. Where your wipes? I gotta wipe this down. Okay. Where your paper? Where's this? Your dirty linen, your clean linen in the pharmacy. Cause we would have a robot come around. They would bring up the medication, what's the code to the door. I need to know all these things. I need to know. I can't have, yeah, I can't function. I'm one of those. But like I said, like in ICU, I very seldom went to the med room because when it would come up from the tube system, we just give it to the nurse. I just always gave it to the nurse. I don't think I ever even well, first because my badge didn't work in there because we had a badge. We had the badge in, and it didn't work. Well, yeah. I was like, I don't think it works in there because it was a badge. Why would I even try it? I had been there for a while. I've been at least 4 years before I even tried it, and it worked on one door but not the other door. I was ain't that something? I had never been in there, but that's kind of weird that the badge worked on one door but not the other. It was two doors in there, and I was like, why would I bet But it worked. I don't know. Yeah, I never went in there. But like everybody else made room, I went in because they had the code. You punch the code in because that's where we put the medications for the nurse. When the robot came up, you just go put it in the med room. But that was weird. It was weird once I went to the ICU and then just just give it to the nurse. But yeah, that's what you do. This is a long video. This video is 45 minutes. I think this is the longest video I ever made. You know why? Because secretaries do a lot. They do a lot. I'm telling you, it's not just sitting there being cute. It's not. I mean, some of us make it look. Some lazy now. I ain't gonna even lie. Some, cause I can't understand how you been somewhere for a long time and don't know nothing. I just don't understand it. How you don't know your department? I can understand if you don't know like other departments, but you don't even know your department. Like, ugh. But yeah, look, secretaries do everything. I'm not even gonna talk about like all the other departments. Like I've been everywhere in that hospital. I think the only place I've never been was um I the only time was labor and delivery. I only went there because my sister was there. I think that was the only department I'd never been to. Only been in there, as far as working. And then of course we had the like God, what do they do? I want to call them the pick nurse. And they used to do like I never. Well, I think I only been down there once. That was like a sister floor from the main floor. But yeah, I think that's the only place I've never been. Just labor and delivery. That's the only place I never worked. And then that one department, like the pick department, like that's it. I've been all over that hospital. But yeah, I just don't understand how people just don't know, especially you've been there for a long time. Like how is that possible? What are you doing? And I'm telling you, if you work like 12-hour shift, those days, I'm sorry, those years fly by. You look up and it's 6 years. You look up it's 10 years, and you be like, how? How is it? How have I been here so long? Like how? And like I said, you do get burnt out, and you do want something different, especially if you're like just in the same position, same position. I can understand how people get burnt out in the hospital. It's a lot. It's a lot going on in the hospital. But that's why I say you gotta know you. You gotta. Uh, a lot of people who are secretaries, they're there for a season, and then some have other skills. Like some are CNAs and secretaries, and then you know, and then there are those like me who that's all you're gonna do because you can't be a nurse. You thought about it, you thought about phlebotomy, and I don't like blood. Thought about respiratory, thought about radiology. Honey, I don't thought about all of them. I'm like, no. I'm gonna sit right where I'm at and just be the best that I can be. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else we do. And then and then somewhere in between there we eat. No, you know what? We eat. Now, no, don't nobody else on the floor eat. The secretaries eat. We going to lunch. We are going to lunch. Okay, we are. Look, I'm going to lunch, and yeah, we eat. Now, nurses might not eat. CNAs might. CNAs gonna eat. Yeah, they gonna eat. Yeah, but nurses, the secretaries. Oh yeah, we going to lunch. We gonna eat. We gonna have our 30 minutes, and we gonna enjoy it. And the CNAs, they'll eat eventually. They'll squeeze it in. But the nurses, I don't know what they be doing. Okay, them nurses just do not want to take their lunch. They don't want. They don't want to give up their phone. I don't know. They don't. Some got phones, pagers, thing. They don't give it up. They don't give it up. And even though they tell them, give your phone to so and so, they won't do it. I mean, I kind of understand why, because another nurse might be drowning. That's the term we like to use in the hospital. Drowning, and so they don't want to put that pressure on them while they go eat. I understand it. The same reason why they don't pee. That's why they have UTIs all the time. My mama a nurse, I know, and so because they hold their pee, they don't go to the bathroom. So, but yeah, if anybody gonna eat in the department, it's the secretary. We gonna eat every day. We're gonna take our we're gonna go get our breakfast. We're gonna eat our lunch. Yay. We're gonna go chit chat with everybody, and in between we're gonna do some work. That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, oh my god, this video is 50 minutes. Let me end this video. Let me wrap it up. So if you have any questions or comments, you can put them below. And you can follow me on my blog, J. Marie Booklist, where I talk about being a health unit coordinator, a secretary, unit secretary in the hospital. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.